All right, what is up? Welcome to Spoiler Kings. We're going to talk about Stranger Things Season 5, Part 1. This is it. It's the beginning of the end for the show, for the franchise, all that. Well, not for the franchise, but for at
They
least the
got
main.
spinoffs coming off now. All
Yeah, they
right.
got
I'm like,
spin-offs
what?
coming. Yep.
Nancy Wheeler got her own Nancy Wheeler stories. Like, what? This is what we
Oh
doing?
man. Yeah, animated stuff. Yeah, we're getting a bunch of stuff from it. But at least from the main story, this is the beginning of the end. That's it, man. But yeah, so we got 4 episodes so far, and I think Christmas Day we're getting another 4, and then we're getting the last one in theaters and at home. Was that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day?
New
So
Year's Eve, I
Yeah,
believe, is
New
the
Year's
one.
Eve.
New Year's Eve, yeah. So so we're gonna talk about chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll break each one down kind of individually, and we'll talk about that. Um, but yeah, we'll just start off with chapter 1, the crawl. Is pretty much the gang evades the military to scour the upside down for Vecna, but fails to notice the threat lurking closer to home. So they're doing their what the crawl, I think it's called, during the burning. That was their big thing in this episode. But yeah, start off with Brandman. What you think about the first episode?
Oh, the first episode. The first 5 minutes I thought were awesome. It's really I like that. It seems like there's going to be a real sense of resolution and bringing everything full circle. I like that they're establishing that Vecna's been here since the beginning.
Yeah,
I liked the where they've gone with Hawkins as a community is really cool. They've also really used the maturing of the main characters to its advantage from a narrative standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Lucas had a pretty badass intro.
Dude, he looked like I was like, man, he came in as hey, walking in, mess with my boy.
Yeah. The way that the direction they've gone with the characters, such as Dustin, Lucas, it makes sense. And I like that they're doing more with the character of Mike because it just seemed like the last maybe like season or two, he was just such a wet rag.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like what they're doing with him. Again, I like this show's trend of bringing in at least one cult actor from the 80s or someone who is known for a cult property in the 80s. And here we have Linda Hamilton. It's so good to see her. And I like what they're doing with the character of Max because she's one of my favorite. Well, I wouldn't even call her a secondary character.
Well, Max is still in the first episode. She's still in coma, really.
In coma.
Yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself. My bad. but yeah, really good start because I was kind of skeptical due to the weight, and this really reignited my interest and enthusiasm in the show overall.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Brian? What do you think about the first episode?
They did a great job of reintroducing the characters, allowing me to reintroduce myself. So each character we understand now. We see where 11 is right now. We understand where Mike is right now. We understand where Will is, he's changing, right? We see Lucas, how he's changing, and how Dustin is just going hellfire to the fullest, and it just went kind of crazy a little bit. Even to the point where other characters are looking at him like, "What the hell's wrong with Dustin, man?" Mm-hmm. So seeing those things, seeing how Steve and Robin are different, seeing how Jim and Joyce are really together, like, and how they're doing their thing. Even the ups and downs between Jonathan and Nancy. So they kind of gave us a little snapshot of everyone in their life, how they are right now, how they're dealing with it, how Hawkins is still going to school, but they're under the military, stuff, but no one can come in and still confined into this town. So like it's crazy. So they don't do that part on the side. And then we start getting with Jim, with Hopper, how he's doing all the crawls, like what they're doing. He's going out and eliminating, and how they're systematically actually going through each part of the town, trying to find out where Vecna is, and how thoughtful this stuff was. I mean, they really kind of planned this out really well, and they were doing a great job. And I think it was a great way to introduce a lot of this stuff, and then it reintroduced a problem, things that they haven't
Mhm.
thought of. Bringing that part into it was really smart. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think it was almost a perfect reintroduction of characters in episode 1.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that you hit it right on the head, because like the first episode this season, I felt was like a perfect way to start it. It was like you already know the characters, but let's give you a quick reminder of what's going on. The recap, I thought, like the little 2-3 minute recap they had in the beginning, I thought that was like a great recap. Like it was like right to the point of everything that's happened, specifically in like season 4. It was like boom, here's everything you need to know. Awesome. And then they jumped into the first 5 minutes we already saw online, which was great. And then it gets into like everything else, of how the city is, how the kids are, what's everyone's dealing with, the military's hunting 11, where like they're putting out dummies for for 11. I thought was awesome. I was like obviously that's got to be like Hopper, right? Doing that, like being ahead of the game. But
training her,
just seeing everyone. Yeah,
and it was funny because we didn't know why he was doing it, but then it kind of, we start to see as the episodes go further along and progress, we start understanding why he was doing what he was doing.
Yeah. Because it's like, the other kids, they have to go to school because it's kind of who they are. I mean, they're kids of the neighborhood and stuff. That 11 kind of has a bigger responsibility than learning math. So it was. I thought that was like pretty interesting. But I would say the one thing, the issue I had with this episode was, as they're reintroducing everybody, the way they made Dustin just be an asshole. I didn't quite like that. Like I get why he's obviously upset and more in a negative headspace, from what happened last season.
From Eddie Munson, from all that stuff.
Yeah. It's just for me, it's like, man, you just came off like a real asshole, in the episode. He gets better, but in this one I was like, man, even his friend, like you said, even his friends are like, he's crazy.
What's wrong with him?
And on one hand, I get it, because he especially with what happened with Eddie, everyone sees him as
they're blaming him too. They're blaming Eddie
for what happened last season, when Dustin and the rest are the only ones who know the truth. So on one hand, I understand it. I kind of like when they go kind of unexpected routes with certain characters, because we're so used to him being, like the cheerful one who's always smiling.
Exactly. Yeah.
But given the gravity of the situation, I understand. Definitely kind of jarring to see, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But like it makes sense. So I can't be mad at him, but man, he is kind of like very dickish, especially like sometimes to his friends, in it, where I was like, bro, like, they're your friends too. So, but that was the only like one thing I had it really in the whole first 4 episodes, was specifically that. As soon as they bring him in, he was just like very much the opposite. He was always the cheerful, silly, goofy one, and now he's like just angry.
But shouldn't someone be angry? From all the stuff that they've been through. How can you be cheery and happy being stuck in the town, hunting, Vecna, going to the upside down, eventually being as smart as he is, knowing that Eddie saved so many people's lives, that he had the strongest connection with him, knowing all those things, why wouldn't he not be the one who has a problem?
Like upset. Yeah. And like Bradman said,
Mike has 11, Will is always going to be the freak, Lucas has Max, and he's this athletic dude. They all have something else. Really, Dustin didn't have anything else.
Yeah. 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 And like Brandman says, good to see a character kind of flip script a little bit. It's like, yeah, but yeah, it was a little off putting. It was like it didn't ruin anything for me.
I
It was
agree.
just like I'm like, oh,
I agree with you.
yeah,
I'm just asking,
yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like you said, can't really blame the guy, So, I don't remember it at the end of this episode. Do they actually do the crawl, or is that in episode 2? I think they actually get in there, right?
in there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Is this the episode and they actually do when she gets trapped, she gets snatched up?
No, I don't think so.
Or was it episode 2 that she got snatched?
Yeah,
the vanishing of Holly Wheeler. Yeah,
yeah.
It was episode 2 that she,
because that's when, yeah. So yeah. Anything else? I mean, that was a big thing. Obviously, Hopper goes into the upside down. He kind of sneaks in, does the crawl. I guess they've done it like 30 something times at this point, and it's been a dud each time. So,
but they also had a systematic way of going about it and checking out everything. And and they said, if you lose my signal, I'm gone. So like, with that being known how serious it was, the fact that Dustin wasn't there was kind of weird.
Yeah. It's almost like you're sacrificing Hopper, to go, pay respects to Eddie, So even I thought that was crazy. I was like,
instead of being there for the living.
Yeah. It was like, because he did the thing with his snake, and I'm like, okay, cool. How are you gonna get your snake back, bro? And like, what happened with the snake was pretty effed up too, though. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting like that. That's pretty dark, It was like, I was like, I didn't expect that, but that's one thing I was like, how'd you think it was gonna go? Like, they're gonna be like, oh, here's your pet snake back. So,
yeah, but them showing that was
that was intense.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and it just pushes him more, to being angry. So
if you're gonna do that, why would you be by your friends again?
Yeah.
Why are you isolating yourself if you're going to be that type of person? Keep on poking the bear. Eventually, the bear is going to claw you. So how are you surprised?
Yeah. But yeah. You guys, anything else with this episode?
Yeah, just a great introduction.
Yeah,
great introduction. Yeah. We get back into the upside down, and then it ends, and then we get into episode 2, which is the vanishing of Holly Wheeler. So it's after a vicious attack at the Wheeler home, which I can't wait to talk about that. Mike and Nancy confront the cost of secrecy while Elle and Hopper embark on a rescue mission. Yeah. So we get what's that?
That was something, man. This is something of an episode, man. That vanishing of Holly Wheeler, oof, good boy.
Yeah,
I'll let B.
This is when it goes down,
man. I was like,
yeah. What do you think about it, B?
Was scared for the Wheeler parents at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I thought they were going to end up even worse. I like that.
Ed, he got that claw early. I was like, damn, no one even came back to Ted.
No one gave a shit.
And I've always liked the character of Ted Wheeler. He's just like he's such an 80s suburbanite dad. I think he's just an amusing character. I like how he's always just in the background, just exasperated about everything.
He's like, we really asked, can you pass me the sausage? And he gets all the way back down to the back, the end, and there's no sausages left. He's like, it's my house. It's my sausage. I get nothing.
That was funny.
I like that Vecna's being even more conniving. Targeting Holly, targeting another kid is just nasty work on his end. Him going by Mr. Whatsit is interesting to me. Just the Wrinkle in Time reference there is kind of cool.
You got that.
What else? I'm trying to think what else I liked about it. I always like when they show more of the Upside Down.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite things about the show. I like that they're going even more in depth with that. It makes sense for the final season. It's a character all its own. And
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, those were my standout things. And I always like when the characters are kind of figuring stuff out. One of my favorite things about Stranger Things is that the group of kids are actually smart. They actually figure stuff out. You know, they're not always diving in head first. They plot stuff out and they execute plans, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite things about the show as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, they use their heads. So I like following them. You know, and it makes them it makes it more engaging and easier to root for the characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When they don't do stupid things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They think it through.
Mm-hmm. What are you, Brian? What you think about the episode?
So yeah, after seeing, so we saw episode 1 and them actually take Holly Wheeler and seeing how they messed up everybody. After see Ted and saw Karen, all of them. The first thing I thought of was like, how messed up is that they've been there in this town. They opened their house to everybody. Everyone's living in this house, and no one said anything to them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know, guys, you know, there's something dangerous going on here. There's more to these military guys than what meets the eye. Maybe we should say if we're this involved.
Yeah.
Say,
and it's like
you can't tell
everyone in the house except for them two, right?
Exactly. And they're the ones that left at risk. So everyone else had a way to protect themselves and knew all this information. But the people that financially was controlling and giving their house to everyone knew nothing. And I thought that was just wrong on so many different levels. Mm-hmm. And the fact that even now Holly had to deal with this. And you know what's funny, because if Mike would have talked to Holly earlier, she would have been more prepared. Because you turn around and you look at Erica, right? Because Luke was told Erica last season, right? So because of that, Erica's now prepared. She knows I mess with Vecna. Plus, she has the attitude, was holding another thing with Erica. But she knows what's going on. She's not in there out there blind. You know, so even more than the parents, the fact that Holly has no idea what's going on, even though both her siblings are totally involved, and you know you're putting your entire house at risk, I thought that was crazy. So once Holly was gone, I was like, the first thing I thought was, okay, this is exactly about what happened with Will before. This is exactly what, and that's the first thing I was thinking. So they're taking her, and she's the new Will. Okay, and then when Mike and Nancy started to actually talk about those things, and I realized that they're thinking the same thing I'm thinking about. Okay, we probably should have said something to our mom and dad. We could have saved them. I also wonder if they're going to die or not. You know, because does Ted die? Does their father die? Now they got consequences. Because throughout the episode, they're all talking to Karen, their mother, and worrying about her, and no one checks on their dad.
I can't even remember if he in the hospital, is he alive? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. Okay, he's there, he's alive, and they said they're gonna make a full recovery, but no one cared. No one went and saw dad. No one saw the mom. I thought that was really weird. But also I love the feeling that I got in this episode. The fact that we got no Vecna yet, right? Yet you started to really feel what's going on. You're starting to feel the intensity, and it also kind of reminded me that the Mind Flayer and Vecna are different, right? And that the Upside Down is not just Vecna. And you have all these Demogorgons running around, and how hard it is to defeat a Demogorgon.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not going to just win. And the idea that, you know, with Elle and Hopper actually going on this rescue mission together, and then seeing them, multiple people going to the Upside Down. all that was so cool, like a slit in reality, and people actually going to on the other side. Seeing throughout episode 2 and 3, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I don't say it's a good follow up because obviously, it's the second episode. But it just, I think if the first one was setting up, like reminding you who everyone is, like kind of what's the scenario everyone's dealing with, this is like, all right, here's the problem, for the season, and it's definitely, like you said, Vecna isn't there, but you feel him, like his like he's just like overshadowing everything. You're like, oh, it's gonna be a problem, because that was the first thing I thought. I was like, well, who's controlling these demigorgons? If he's
not around,
what's going on? So it's like either he got more powerful where he can really control them from somewhere else or stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, he's gonna show up in a really badass way. But yeah, just him not being here, because then we get the wall, the fleshy weird goo wall that just was weird. And then them trying to figure out how to get through it and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, that's gonna be a big problem. And them dealing with the military, the military figuring out how to stop L, like the weapon, ultrasonic whatever kind of thingy, and her just completely.
Isn't that the same weapon from the Incredible Hulk?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen that before. It is.
When Ed Norton, that's the same weapon they use for L is the the sonic sound.
Yeah. Well, I know that's like a real thing too, because I know they use it against some protesters in Chicago recently, and they did not. I mean, obviously it doesn't do that to them, but they did not like it. So it's based off reality, I guess, but yeah, that's definitely like amplifies it.
They play Make a Trainer for me. I'm like, no, no.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, the badass that the mom is in this episode. The dude hits him with a golf club. I'm like, what the hell you gonna do with a golf? It was like, and a putter on top of that. It wasn't even like a driver or anything. But the mom just like breaks it on the table and was like, come on.
Yeah, Karen wanted that smoke.
Yeah. Oh man. But even before that, she into the bathtub and try to like
hold her breath and all that stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was smart-ish, when you're in a pinch, hopefully you can hold your breath, but just the Demigorgon coming in and just tearing up the house, man, because it was at the point where like they thought Holly was crazy, he sees the imaginary friend and she's too old to be having imaginary friends and blah 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 and stuff like that. Now you see this monster, you're like, oh shit, is she crazy? So you start to like think things are different, because like you said, they're in the dark, they don't know about any of this stuff, how real it all is, so yeah, I thought that was
it was just wrong. It was wrong with Mike and Nancy did not say anything to their parents. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, especially if you were like the only one and you don't want anybody else to know to protect them, fine. But it's the opposite.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows. Like you literally have a house of the most wanted, people on Vecna's hit list. I was like, you should have told him. Like, hey, he wants her dead, him dead, her dead. It's like, no, but. But I think for me, the having Hopper and Elle together, and him trying to realize
that she's not a little girl,
that she
hold on.
Yeah, like you're training her for a reason, and that's the whole thing. And she even says that, she goes, "Why are you training me? Like you're doing the thing, But and I think Henry, or what's his name, Mr. Who's it or what's it,
Mr. What's it. Yeah,
what's it? Gets what's her name, Holly, into this house. I think right at the end, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
says that hey, and gets her. She has dresses, and it's basically a van
Yeah.
with candy in it. Ooh, piece
Yeah,
of candy.
pretty
Ooh, piece of
much.
candy. Ooh, piece of candy. And she got all the things you want to eat, and all your dresses and Barbie dolls. And she's like, "Ooh, I'll stay here. Okay, rest of my family
Yeah.
coming. Cool."
Yeah.
Even though Demi
But,
Moore just
I mean-
brought her there.
Didn't even think about that. You know, but yeah, it's really interesting how like they in the next episode when we're about to get into all the little breadcrumbs they left in episode 1 and episode 2 that starts to connect, and you're like, oh, okay, you know. So
I gotta say this. I don't know. I think this is the end of episode 2 when you started to understand. We see Jim seeing his daughter, his actual daughter, with the cancer.
Oh
and you
man,
understanding why Jim is the way he is with Elle.
Yeah,
dude. If you could watch that and not feel a pinch in your heart, there might not be something there. Because I was like, oh, my heart, like
that was tough.
Yeah,
kids should never get cancer. But the fact that he had to watch it, he said she was such a strong person, and the nurses didn't understand how she'd be so strong, and the way he described it. And now you understood when he looks at this little girl Elle, and how strong she is, but how vulnerable she is. Why he sees her that way? Why he's like really her father?
So protective.
It was so unbelievable. It was well done without being, just hitting you over the head with it, but you felt it. Oh.
Yeah, it was definitely rough, but it reminded me of like Last of Us type of thing, you know. It reminded me of like other of those kind of like things where it's like you're my kid now, you know, like I see you as my kid, you know. Even like I don't think it's in this episode, but he even says like he goes was like way to make your dad worry, you know. It's like he sees himself as her dad, you know.
She sees him. The only thing I want, I will get to episode 3. The only thing I wanted from Elle was to call him dad.
Call him dad. It's gonna happen.
I was waiting. Now the whole episode, I'm like, come on.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, it broke my heart.
Exactly like Bobby Singer.
Like Bobby Singer. Yep.
Exactly. Supernatural. You know me.
Pretty supernatural. Real quick, let me get into some of the comments before we get into our next episode. So Lawrence is saying Dustin sort of left behind. Yeah. He
has nothing to move on to. There's nothing that's special about Dustin anymore. The Hellfire Club was the thing for Dustin. You know, he doesn't have what happened to his girlfriend? Did she break up with him? Is that what happened?
Sure. Well,
you're singing the never-ending story online, like
it was also very like just D&D in general, you know, like they haven't. And obviously they're not gonna play any D&D. Like I don't think they got time for it, you know. So last season might have been the last time they did that. But for him, that was like the big thing. You know, I could be wrong, but wasn't he the GM of their D&D in like season 1?
Was it
like season 1?
I think Mike was.
I could be wrong.
I think
Mike. Yeah. Was it Mike? Okay. But I mean, to him, it's super important, and he does the references all the time. So, So, Fernando said, my only problem about the season time jump is the time jump. I don't think it was needed.
They're 40, so they had to be a time jump.
It wasn't that big of a time jump, though.
Wasn't it only a couple months, like 5 months?
It was like 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I don't think it was too crazy.
End of one school year to the beginning of the next school year.
Yeah. I said I wanted to knock out Dustin. he's kind of giving you that vibe. You're like, bro, what are you doing? And then Mama Bear said, how do you start that conversation? Mom, Dad, everyone here is wanted by a supernatural entity.
Yes.
You might be in danger.
Yeah. Do you see this military here? You know we're stuck here? Do you know why? Let me show you something.
Like him. He's the reason why.
point right, Will right in there. That guy, Will, he's the reason.
It reminds me of like the I don't know why, but the Homer Simpson is like there may be, one or was it there may be or may not be a clown inside the house right now, like trying to freak out the parents. There may or may not be. Oh man, a mind warped killer in the house. Yeah, but all right. So that's halfway through the first part of the final season. But chapter 3 is called the Turnbow Trap. So Will gains unique insight into Vecna's next move, giving the crew an opportunity to set a trap, and Holly explores her new surroundings, even though she was told not to go in the woods. But
that was confusing for her, though. I mean, do you understand that being confusing for her? I mean, getting a note, you don't know who that note's from. You haven't seen Vecna again, or Mr. What's it,
Henry or
whatever. You haven't seen them again, so I kind of understand why.
Yeah. And also, I think we get Erica back in this episode, and she I love her, man. She's the best. She does not mess around.
Erica's great.
Yeah. You got 60 seconds. But we'll start with Brandman. What you think about episode 3?
Episode 3, I'm trying to remember what exactly happened. So I have some notes that I put on my screen here. So, I like that. I like the Hopper and 11 back and forth on this episode. That's one thing that really was at the top of my list. Again, I like how the characters are like kind of figuring stuff out as far as what Vecna's plan was, and I like that. I like the whole trap they set for the Demogorgon. It was very Nightmare on Elm Street. I thought less Home Alone and more Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
they understood what they were doing too when they were trying to do this trap. Like it was a good ass trap.
Yeah, it was really, really good, right?
Like it was better than like Fred setting up a trap like Scooby Doo. This was actually going to work.
Yeah. And I like at this point the character of Derek was slowly growing on me. Erica, like I said, it was great. I love the "eat your damn pie" line.
And then the way she's walking over and she just knocks them. Oh my god, that is fire!
Yeah, and the final shot, the return of my girl Max. I love that. That was super cool. And I'm like, oh, I got to see what happens next immediately. When that happened, when Max showed up, that was cool. But more on that when we start talking about the next episode. But those were my standout elements of this one.
Yeah. Okay. What are you, Brian?
I thought it started off with 11 looking for Holly, and I thought that was interesting. She couldn't find them, so we knew there's a place now that 11, even though in the upside down, somewhere that she can't see. And that was interesting. So is that was with Vecna or not with Vecna? Did Vecna have a spot that we didn't know? So that's the whole thought process with that. Them coming up with the whole kidnapping plan was a terrible plan. Kidnapping the entire family is a terrible plan. And you don't think to test them by putting more, knockout stuff with them? Like you don't think about doing that? I thought that was a terrible plan. But everything else they did in the house was fire. I loved everything they were doing. Who takes a chainsaw to the floor? But if I came in here, someone chainsaw on my floor, boy, it was it would be a problem. Then when you saw Erica go to Turnbows and oh, Erica's so nice to see you. And they talked about the Turnbows and said, oh yeah, no, what's her name? Tina is a villain. And then the fact that Erica was good friends with Tina kind of lets you know that Erica's a bit of a villain in herself too, right?
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
they were good best friends, and now she's there like this one little thing. But before they're best friends, as villains, they're villains together. So I thought that was interesting. That gives you a little more insight to Erica, because when we first see her, we see her with the hand raised, answering all the questions, and being really, really smart. But some people are too smart for their own good, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I did appreciate the whole Lucas with Max with the music thing at the beginning, kind of setting up what we're going to get towards the end, making it more important. Because I mean, we at this point we had gotten 2 episodes in without even seeing Max, So now when you see him hanging out with her, that's really important. They made that count later, right? But seeing that scene was so right, so well done. Yeah. So I just thought overall episode 3 was I don't think it was my favorite one, but I think it was very important for the payoff that we're going to get in episode 4.
Yeah. I liked episode 3. Like you said, probably not my favorite one. I really didn't think about ranking them yet, but like the one thing I thought was really interesting was when Eleven's trying to interrogate. Well, 11 and Hopper are interrogating the soldier dude, and she's like in his head, and I was like, oh shit, like so when she was going through the door, and I'm like, if he's that was a question I was like thinking about. I was like, if he legit doesn't know what's on the other side of the door, and she makes his head open it up, like what does that do to somebody? You know what I mean? It's like you're forcing somebody to like you know what I mean? Like he doesn't know what's on that side, but now you're opening it up. It's like you literally breaking his brain. It's like,
but they're shooting people left and right anyway, right? So they would have killed him anyway. So they had no care about it.
I didn't care if he lived or died, but I just thought it was like, I'm like, oh, that was an interesting thing to go around. It's like, forcing somebody to live something that they haven't lived through inside their head. Like that's a way to really like, really destroy somebody possibly, but I thought that scene was like super cool, because like Hopper and her working so well together to get information. It was like, oh yeah, no, they're a pair. You know what I mean? They work really well together. Even though he tries
I'm the problem. I'm not the problem. He's the
good cop.
You might as well tell me. I was trying to help you out, because if she goes in there, she finds out. You might as well be dead. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah. But I enjoyed that a lot. But the whole trap thing, like you said, the plan was so stupid. I was like, you're just gonna kidnap the whole family? Like it was like, okay, like and then go where?
It's a Fantastic Four. Let's move all planet Earth instead of
exactly.
It's like, why would we get the whole family? Why can't we just not do that?
I think I'm starting to realize that's a plot in more things than I can like really think of. I was like, it's like we just move the whole thing, But Derek was definitely a little piece of turd, in the little bit we got of him in the first 2 episodes. This one, he still is, but he has that turning point, and towards the end of it. Was it episode 4? Well, episode 4 is when he's already helping, but in this one, it's like they're in the barn, right? I believe, or is that episode 4?
Until because he sees it, the Demogorgon, episode 3. Episode 4 is when he starts to help him.
When he starts to help him, because they're in the barn and he's still a little shit, but the plan was not a good plan, like you said.
So you didn't even check to see if he was knocked out or nothing.
And then the whole thing is like, she's like, he had 2 slices. And I was like, so you're just saying like what, like big guys like can handle
fast metabolism.
I guess. He's not fat, he's big boned. It's like, but I thought it was he's definitely one of those interesting characters, but by episode 3 you start to realize like, okay, there's more than one kid, It's not just Holly, and I thought this was a really good way to do the thing you're missing out on is the kids in trouble. Season 1, season 2, they were young. Now they're old. They have kids now of their own. So how do you like kind of bring in that innocent kind of getting vulnerability, blah blah blah? You bring in more kids, and the way they did it so far was like it makes sense. It didn't feel like force in there, like, oh well, we need to have younger kids, so here you go. But it plays well with the story they were telling. It's like, here's new kids because the old kids are not young anymore, so you have to bring in new ones.
They even went younger than Erica, so that's why I thought that was even more interesting. They're like, oh yeah, we have Erica, but truthfully, Erica's already out of high school, right? So we're going to go younger, so a real kid who's actually looks like a kid instead of a young looking adult.
Yeah. Three was like, how many slices did Dad have? Because he hit him quick, right?
They did. He was like,
yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I thought that was funny because like even with Derek, he's like laughing and his head just hits the table. Oh man. But yeah. This was a interesting episode. It was prepping up. It was a lot more prepping. It was, starting to give more little things for the final, episode for the part. But the ending is where it was at, so before we go, I want to know what you guys think. So that part where, spoiler, but Max shows up and you get the close up and you're like, oh my God, a lot of people wanted that to be Eddie. They're like, oh, that would have been a perfect way to bring Eddie back, and that could have been Eddie, I don't think so. Leave him dead.
He's not part of the main group. And it's already going to be hard enough in the season 5 trying to get a closure for all these people. There's a lot. So you got 11, you got Mike, you got Will, you got Lucas, you got Max, you got Dustin, you got Steve, you got Nancy, you got Jonathan. That's a lot of people. And you got Robin. You got Robin. And I didn't even say Hopper or Joyce, right? You have to close all of those characters up, right? You already have Eddie Munson done. Why would you reopen that?
Yeah. As much as I liked Eddie as a character, I mean there needs to be consequences, right? I mean there needs to be final death,
Yeah. Some people need to stay dead for the emotional impact. If they brought him back, it would probably undo his. Not even probably. I think it would undo his sacrifice and the emotional impact of said sacrifice from last season.
So how about this? How about Eddie comes back as the mind flayer, right? And then he's the real big boss, right? And then so he comes back and he was a good guy, and now he comes back as the bad guy, and he become the big bad guy. How about we do that? Doesn't that sound like something that will work? Or I mean, Marvel will love it.
Could
Marvel? Yeah, I'm right there with because like he's gone. Let him be gone. It with everything that we find out up in the next episode, Max makes sense. Eddie did what he did. He
sacrificed himself, but he was only in season 4, guys. It's not like he was there. For all these times, like why are we doing this?
The hell with Eddie. But it's literally, I've been seeing it a lot on the internet, like today after I watched the episode, I started looking up a lot of like theories and ideas and stuff, and people were like, oh, it should have been Eddie. That would have been so like satisfying for the fans. I was like, I feel like it would have been satisfying for a fan because like it's a beloved character, but for the story it doesn't make any sense.
Then why are you doing Max now? Like, Sadie Sink is going to be a superstar too, guys. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You've been seeing that too. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. Like people want Eddie to come back, and I'm pretty sure the Duffer Brothers came out and were like, yeah, no, he's dead.
They said he's dead a long time ago. So
Yeah.
it wasn't they didn't hem a haul or nothing, and
Mhm.
then they didn't make you think about it or nothing. They
Yeah.
said, no, he's dead.
Yeah. You gotta. I loved Eddie too, but yeah, certain characters need to stay dead for the sake of the story.
Agreed.
And then why would you do all the stuff that you're doing with Dustin if Eddie's going to come back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like he needs to be the continuation of Eddie. He even said like, "Oh, you're the future of Hellfire." Blah blah blah. Like he's, the next generation of Eddie, basically. So yeah.
Except he's smart and he won't be there for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. Oh man, yeah, absolutely. But cool. Jump right into the last episode.
Yep.
Chapter 4, if it pops up. Sorcerer, what it's called. So the military tightens its grip on the town. Mike, Lucas, and Robin orchestrate a daring escape. Elle comes face to face with the enemy. Yeah, I mean this is, man. I mean, there's a lot more to do.
Dude,
with
episode
that one.
4 is fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything else. Did you guys hear that the Duffer Brothers, they would and director would not allow Noah Schnapp to know what's going to happen in episode 4?
Yeah, I heard about that.
I did.
They didn't want him to know what was going to happen for Will. They wanted him to keep his secret, so he got to that point. He was shocked too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they kind of started to set it up. Wasn't it no, it was in this episode, right? Where Mike tells him like, hey, like,
I was thinking about
you're
this.
connected
you
too.
Be able to, yeah.
Yeah. So makes sense, because if he's looking through your eyes, then shouldn't you be able to look through his eyes? And we've seen that in other movies.
That's
and
only Harry Potter. He says sorcerer, and it's Harry Potter. I'm just saying.
Exactly. But yeah, this is if everything was setting up this episode is setting up the awesomeness that we're gonna get for like the next 5 episodes. Yeah, because this was so good. It was so good.
Oh yeah, well, the way that it ended.
What up, Derpy?
Yeah. So what you think, Brad, man? What you think about the final episode of part 1?
Well, like I'd say just to kind of begin, I liked the explanation for like where Max has been basically trapped in the Upside Down, or basically like Vecna's memories, so to speak, which is crazy. I liked that. I like the whole kind of Mission Impossible angle they worked with Dustin trying to get the kids out of that military base. That was cool.
Derek was like,
so he did the barn in this episode. I thought the barn was in the last episode, but yeah, he goes from little shit to wise sage.
And you remember why he did it and who really started it off. Because it was because when you're a good mother, you know how to affect the kids like that. And Joyce really affected him and told him, like, you don't have to be that. You can be anything you want. And obviously he wanted to be loved, he wanted to be liked, and he saw what was going on. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Same. Yep, I really enjoyed that. Because they easily could have made him a little shithead, and thankfully they didn't. So I kind of like that subversion of expectations. That was good. That was really good. I was happy they did that. And I don't even think I need to say this, but the way that it ended, holy crap.
100%. The way it ended was special.
That was bomb. That was so awesome. Yeah, and now I'm like, shit, gotta wait another 4 weeks. So like if I take back everything that I said about the wait killing my excitement, because it's been worth the wait. And the way that it ended, that last minute and a half, again, holy crap, like we are so back.
Yeah. Wait, right.
All right, so episode 4. I've been waiting to talk about this for a little bit, because what we got was really Will Byers' redemption. This all was about his redemption, him opening up to himself, realizing that it's not just about a boy or a girl or anything like that. You don't have to have that connection that way. Your connection is yourself. You have to love yourself first. So I thought that was perfect, the way they did that, and how Robin was able to explain, because Robin went through that heartache too. Because remember, the girl that Robin liked was in love with Steve. You know, that's how they became friends. So she was the perfect vehicle in order to do that with him, and to get him to start opening his eyes and realize that, because he's in love with Mike. I thought that he's ready to, like, open, come out of the closet and say what's going on, but no, it was actually him actually opening, trusting himself, and loving himself enough to trust that he could be his own knight in shining armor. He doesn't have to wait for someone to come and try to rescue him. He can. He's strong enough to, and he kept on saying it to his mom. He kept on saying, I don't want to be, just someone you guys are coming to save. I don't want to sit here and wait. I want to take a risk. And you can see that was the beginning of him maturing and being a real strong character. I think they've held back his character so long. Think about it. I mean, give him the bold cut, give him just being different than everyone else in every other episode, and us actually seeing him becoming something special was so cool. And then you got Elle on the other end going through what she was going through, and oh my god, when Hopper, when she opens up his jacket and you see he's strapped up with he's gonna blow himself up just to save her. I would rather kill myself. I will murder everybody in here to make sure you're okay. Dude, that hit me. That hit me. Once again, when you have kids and you realize I will literally sacrifice myself to make sure you're okay. No one's going to do anything to you. That's why he kept on being so protective over her, because he's like, dude, no, you're not. Nothing's going to happen to you. If I'm hurt, if I'm the one, that's it. I thought that was very cool. I thought that was just a very fatherly thing. And I'm begging 11, call him dad. Let him understand that you understand, that you get what's going on.
Yeah.
And then having the Sarah Connor moment, because it's just, no matter what she is, she's Sarah Connor, right? It's just, that's, and you think about Stranger Things, you think about Terminator, and I thought that was a very cool moment in itself. And then the reveal, and I think was it Kylie, was number 8, eight, whatever, that she was. They hated that whole season and everyone thought this was a terrible season, but it made so much more sense. It was perfect to bring that character back at that point. And I can't go without saying the best thing is Max.
Yeah.
I mean, just was so cool with her, with Holly, and her explanation, and understanding more about Vecna, and understand more about her, and how she was stuck there, and that she almost got out because Will had her thing. She was going to run through, and we're going to get that moment that we all saw at the beginning of episode 3. Like, oh, I wish we could have got it. You almost got it, but then the tape stopped, and that's what stopped her from getting out.
Yeah,
and,
that's sucky.
They just did a great job with all the stories. I felt like all the characters mattered in this one. I loved it. I loved the Mission Impossible stuff. I love the kids, slowing down. I love the fact that Demogorgons were about to rip everybody's a whole new ass.
Oh, man.
It was about to happen. And the fact that right then, that's when Will becomes this character who was so well done. The timing was good. I cared, and to a point where I wanted to watch it again. I just watched the episode. I didn't start from what I watched 3 times just to really understand what's going on. And I think they really outdid with some Matt and Ross. You guys outdid yourself in this episode.
Yeah. The speech Vecna gives Will, before he leaves, and then Will kind of realizes what he can do. Mm-hmm. Oh man, like
he walks off like
you are like such a dick speech. It's basically like you're shit, you were shit, you are shit, you're always gonna be shit. It's like it was just such a demoralizing speech. Is like oh, you were so weak and easy and blah blah blah, and I was able to get exactly what I wanted from you because you were just a coward. It was like all this, like everything you said, I was like, damn, bro, like you're just
why are you doing him like that? Come on.
Yeah. But that's the thing, he needed to hear that, to realize I'm not who he thinks I am. I'm not who everyone thinks I am. I could be more.
Let you define me. Define who I am.
Yeah, because I thought that was like perfect. It was just like Vecna just shit talking him, and then like you said, then just walks off like a badass. And also, I love the way Vecna looks in this season compared to like last season. He just looks more, like demonic. Like really messed up. So, but the ending was awesome. But I really liked Max's story. What she explained what happened to her and blah blah blah. And then the cave. I'm like, why is he afraid of the cave? Like, it's like the big question. I was just the whole time. I'm like, what happened in the cave? Like,
did either of you guys figure out that both Jim and Joyce were all classmates with Vecna?
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna find out that's what it is.
There's that they tease them or some shit like that, or they were the bullies, because we saw this season bullies being very screw
that Andy, screw him.
Okay, he sucks.
Screw him, freaking pussy. Jumps like I thought I hated him for tackling Erica, tackling a little girl last season. But then he jumps a dude like what was it, 4 or 5 against 1?
Yeah. In front of his friend's grave. Yeah.
What up?
But yeah, I'm really curious. But that's another theory that a lot of people are saying is Vecna is actually Will's like dad. That Joyce and Vecna like hooked up or something. I'm like, that's a dumb theory.
Yeah, they know who his dad is. His dad went off. We knew from season 1, episode 1, who his dad was, and Hopper knows who his dad is and all that stuff. I think that actually Joyce was not mean to him, and to the fact that he might even have a crush on Joyce.
So they're doing the Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing the Harry Potter.
They've done it now. I mean, we already got episode 4 with Sorcerer. Yeah, like the dad was mean to him, but it had nothing to do with it. And he was upset, and that's why he went after it. And now we're gonna find out that he's the one.
Yeah. But I'm kind of curious to see what happened in that cave.
In the past.
But just Max's story of everything, and then her figuring out how to get out of the memory, I thought was like awesome. It's like like it was like her death, or when Vecna beat her, I should say, was her escape out into like where she could like leave. So I thought that was like super super interesting. So I like that. And now I wonder what's gonna happen with Holly, going back to the house. Like she seems kind of like
her back into the belly of the beast. That was that's terrible.
And she's like, what do I gotta do? Like she's badass. And I think that's like a lot this season was like there's a lot of like badass women in this, especially in this season or this parts. Like
isn't it always been? Isn't it always been? Between 11 and even last time Max and Nancy from before, all the girls in this things are becoming women and are badasses.
Yeah,
even Joyce, when you're not taking my son, Like it's just what it is. I'm
Yeah,
never
grabbing
letting
the
you go
axe
again.
and
Yeah.
yeah, being a badass, like yeah. But even like her reasoning behind it is like, I didn't know you were gone for 8 hours because she was drinking and this and that. It was like, damn. So she's like, no, I need to know where you're at. So I'm like, yeah, I get it, but yeah.
Jonathan is the one I feel like he's the one that has to give the sacrifice because he was supposed to be home when Will got snatched. I feel like no matter what, something's going to happen when Jonathan's going to be the one
That'd be
that
interesting.
sacrifices.
Yeah.
Because how can Nancy have her sleuthing TV show, whatever you're going to have, if Jonathan's still there?
Yeah. I can see that. But I'm really kind of wondering like who dies now. Because I thought Hopper was gonna die in this episode.
I thought he was a goner.
Yeah. Once he went into that behind that door, I'm like, oh, he's gone. Like that's it. We don't see him anymore.
Yeah.
But
I thought he was done.
You guys got if you had 3, what 3 do you think are gonna die?
I'd say Hopper, 11, or Steve.
Okay.
That's a good list.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good list. I think I agree with that. I can see maybe Will. But for sure Hopper, man. He's number 1 on my list. Like he's going to die.
He's kind of at the end of his rope. I hate to admit it.
Yeah. Like he's ready to die, because he's ready to sacrifice himself to protect his daughter. They already teased it, like you said, with showing the bombs on his
But isn't
chest.
that the reason why he might not die? Because that's too obvious.
It's too obvious. Yeah.
Just so like the 3 most important people in this in the entire show is 11 and Will and
same
Hopper.
Probably.
So
I would say Mike, but Mike's been pretty nothing the last.
Mike is with 11, so like that's just what it is. But I feel like Will's gonna be in a point where he might die, and that's why I think Jonathan's going to save Will because he's the reason. He blames himself, and he's not a big character. He's the older brother. He's going to sacrifice himself to keep Will alive. So I think Jonathan dies. Okay. I can see Steve dying to sacrifice for Dustin.
That'd be cool.
I can see that.
I like that.
That combination to each other.
Dustin's dying for sure. You just want him to die.
And either 11 or Hopper. One of them has to die and one of them has to be to live.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't both die. Hopper and 11, I can't see them both
One
dying.
has to live. Yeah.
Yeah. Agree that Mike dies, impacts Will and 11. I can see that maybe, because he's been a nothing kind of a character, maybe he does the big play at the end.
Hey, you mess up his mom, you almost kill his dad, and you kill Mike. That's messed up. And you snatch his sister up. That's messed up, bro. I don't know if that family can deserve all of that. I don't know if that's what happened.
Steve or Jonathan. There we go. I like the Jonathan thing. Hopper. Yeah. I think for sure Hopper. I like the Jonathan idea where he sacrifices to save Will.
I think Hopper's going to be that guy who continues to try to sacrifice himself and doesn't die.
It never happens.
It doesn't die.
That'd be a good way to do it.
Because that way that you don't have to worry about it. 11 has her. They have this redemption that they both get to grow together and have that father-daughter thing at the end.
Yeah.
Which means that Mike could be someone who dies, but I think Mike could die and Jonathan could die, and will anyone mess him? If it's Mike, Jonathan, and Steve, does anything happen?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It's just, what do you think about like, is anybody gonna miss them? I was like, no.
You're like, oh, they died. Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah. Dustin and Lucas are safe. I think they're both safe.
Mm-hmm.
They're both safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dustin.
But,
Lucas, yeah.
Lucas ain't dying. Because you know, come on,
saying?
you got one black kid.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
He gotta live. You only got one. He gotta live.
Yeah.
So 8 is dead.
8 is dead.
I can see 8.
Yeah. I'm really curious in what's gonna happen with that, with the sisters, back together.
I could definitely see 8 gone though. Sacrifice herself.
But even that might be interesting because if she sees 8 as a sister, but she's never called Hopper her dad, even though he sees her as a daughter. So and now is she gonna have to pick between her sister or her dad? I
think she'll choose Hopper.
I think so too.
Yeah,
but I think that might be a thing we see. That'd be kind of interesting. Because that's the only other person she kind of like
Mike,
like love, and Mike.
No, she loves Mike. Too.
She loves Mike. I
can see. That's what I'm saying. Mike might have to go. Maybe you keep 11 and Hopper, and Mike goes.
Yeah. So fans don't like her. I didn't know that fans didn't like 8.
They didn't hear that episode. They thought that was such a waste of an episode.
Oh yeah, the one episode that she showed up in. Yeah, I know a lot of people hate that one.
And no one dies. The Winchester show up. I expect
that. Cass comes in and says, "All right, we're gonna move them all out of here."
Yeah, right. Maria says, "I have a strong feeling that no one's gonna die. They have plenty of chances to kill a few characters already in the 4 episodes." Yeah, I mean, and then the Duffer Brothers said, don't think too hard about it, about how it's gonna end. So I think they're kind of telling you like, hey, don't make all these theories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they took a character from the worst episode,
but they did it on purpose to try to make it mean something.
Yeah. Whenever they do it and it works, and if it does work, then that worst episode might not be so bad anymore.
Exactly.
So, yeah. She calls him Pa.
We'll
see how that works. But yeah, you guys got anything else, man? Because those are really good beginning of the final season.
Yeah. Well, my only other thing is, can we jump ahead?
4 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, we already did Thanksgiving. This cut right to Christmas.
Yeah,
cut right to Christmas. Ain't no one at work right now anyway.
Christmas I really want,
except for Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I look at it and I still think Vecna, and the Mind Flayer is still going to be a big thing that we're going to talk about. And I wouldn't be surprised at the end of season 5, part 2, that Vecna dies and the Mind Flayer is left, and that's the big bad.
Yeah. Have we seen anything from the Mind Flayer?
Not for a long time. Just like we haven't seen 8 in a long time, and all of a sudden we're gonna see 8.
Yeah.
No, we just did. So
I would have to go back and remember the Mind Flayer because I really don't remember too much about him besides just being
the Mind Flayer is the big bad. So Vecna they're kind of like two sides of the same coin, but they're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but that's why I say Vecna and the Mind Flayer. We're gonna find out Vecna's not the big bad.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting if they go that
Here
route.
it is, right? In Stranger Things, Vecna and the Mind Flayer are not adversaries, but they're connected through a symbiotic relationship where Vecna is the mastermind and the Mind Flayer is its tool. After being banished to the Upside Down, Vecna, formerly Henry Creel, manipulated the Mind Flayer's chaotic hive mind energy into a more organized, powerful form. So the Mind Flayer is actually the thing that Vecna's using to control all this stuff.
Yeah, the Mind Flayer has been in the Upside Down, and Vecna just when he went there, he just used it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I can see that because if it's been like there the whole time,
what if Will defeats Vecna. Not 11, but Will defeats Vecna, and the Mind Flayer says they chose another avatar.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole time Vecna thought he was using him, and you find out the Mind Flayer was using Vecna, and now you're like, oh. Yeah. I can see that. I like that. But we'll see. We got what, five more episodes?
I think 5.
Yeah. But if it's 5 or 6.
I can't remember. I thought it was 4, and then 1, but I don't.
I mean, 4-4-1 makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let me see if I can pull up real quick. I remember we had the schedule. There he goes. Oh no! So you get
it's a 4-5-1.
4.
No, it's only 8 episodes.
3,
and then 1. Yep, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 is the last one. So it's only 8 episodes.
So there's only 4 more episodes, but we gotta wait 4 weeks for 3 episodes, and then like what? 5 days after for that final episode. You know, but we get all the long ones after that. You got to figure episode 5 is gonna be an hour 43, episode 6 an hour 40, episode 7 an hour 58, which is the longest of all of them.
That sounds like the one that Vecna dies in.
Yeah, and then the last one is hour 50. So the only one that's been longer is technically episode 2, the vanishing of Holly Wheeler, was 2 hours, and that flew by. I feel like
it really did.
Yeah, I mean, all these episodes went pretty quick.
I think they flew by, like, really. Like, I'm so into it that it doesn't even feel like the episodes are as long as they are. It's like the Avengers Endgame effect.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No movie premiere for the last episode. There is. I think Brian's gonna get his ticket in a few hours.
Yeah, I cannot wait. It's happening.
Yeah, season 2 was the worst. I thought season 3 was the worst for me.
I didn't like season 3.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't dislike any of the seasons, but I think that if I had to say that there was a weakest link, it would probably be the 3rd season. I like them all, really enjoy them all, but I don't even like ranking them, to be honest. But I'd probably have to say that if I absolutely have to, it would be the 3rd season.
Yeah. Because it definitely didn't feel like 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah, season 3. Yeah, it just, I don't know. Season 3 just I don't know. They couldn't figure. I don't know. It didn't feel like enough was moving. I feel. Yeah. But either way, they fixed it because season 4 was awesome. Season 5 is even more awesome so far. So, but cool. Anything else, guys?
Nope. I mean, hey, you got this 4-week break. Let's watch all the episodes again and just go 1. It's all season 1, all season 2, all season 3, all season 4. So the first half of season 5, so you can really enjoy the second half of season 5.
Yeah, like Tamika's saying, like, do it all. Start from the beginning.
I like it.
Yeah. The one we have to go to pay for and go to the theater better be the longest. It's not.
Yeah.
Not by much. By 10 minutes, it's it's an hour 50. It's technically the 3rd longest. It's not so, but that's all right. But yeah, that's our discussion. We do episode breakdown for each of the 4 episodes that starts off the beginning of the end of Stranger Things. But we appreciate all you guys coming in and hanging out. If you're watching on the replay, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about this, the start of the season. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Some parts that you liked, anything that we missed that you want to talk about? Leave a comment. Let's chit chat in the comments. Appreciate all that, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and come and join us when we talk about the end of Stranger Things, plus a bunch of other fun, nerdy stuff as well. We get into it. Vampire Lestat. We got so much stuff coming up. Fallout's coming out. Man.
Fallout is December 17th, I think it is.
Yeah, that's coming. So there's a bunch of shows and movies that we're going to be chit-chatting about. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. But if you're watching on the replay, we appreciate all you guys coming in, hanging out with us. Stick around because we're going to move on to our next topic for the night.